Hi, my name is Adam. I'll be your narrator today. This is the story of the Radiant Thesis, a concordate research ship carrying a weapon too dangerous to exist. Sabotaged, left to die. With the Concordat too far to save them, they sent a signal into Sol, the one system they were told never to trust. What arrived was not salvation, not conquest, but something far more dangerous: humans. The bridge of the Radiant Thesis flickered with the kind of light that makes every shadow look like a verdict. Captain Serac Aurel pressed his forelimbs against the control console to still their trembling. The panels were colder than they should have been. Oxygen always has a smell, though no one admits it until it's gone. Serac could already taste the absence. "How long?" he asked, voice low. At the engineering station, Tavi Nuer worked with a frantic steadiness that bordered on futility. Lumin did not panic the way other species did. Their bioluminescent crests only dulled, dimming like lanterns running out of oil. Tavi's glow was already grey-blue, and her fingers slipped on the controls as if they were underwater. 6 hours, she said, if the core pretends to work. Less if it gives up pretending. Serac turned his compound eyes to the comms pit. Aurum Pell lifted one ribbon tentacle from the interface, its movements heavy. Selene physiology was patient, but even their mucus-lined bodies were showing strain. "No response," Aurum said. 3 days of repeating the distress call. Concordat relays are too far. The captain's forelimbs twitched against the panel. They had been attacked 3 days earlier. Pirates, the official reports would have said. Only it hadn't looked like piracy. Pirates steal. They don't cripple life support and then vanish. The Radiant Thesis wasn't a warship. It wasn't even a proper courier. It was a science vessel with a reinforced hold, chosen precisely because no one would notice it. But people had noticed. And now the Radiant Thesis carried something it should not have carried. Deep in its storage bay was a crate humming with warning glyphs, the phase collapse array, a device that could tear apart space-time like rotten cloth. A weapon so dangerous the Concordat had ordered it locked away in a remote vault. The irony was not lost on Serac. A research vessel, a crew of scientists, and the most dangerous weapon in known space. And now they were dying in the dark between stars. Aurum shifted uneasily. "Captain, there is one system within 2 days, one that might answer." Serac did not need to ask. The name rose unbidden, like the sting of a wound. Sol. The bridge went quiet. Everyone knew the stories. 50 years ago, the Orion Concordat had tried to admit Sol into galactic society. First contact had gone badly. No one remembered exactly how, only that it ended in explosions and fear. Humanity had been quarantined, walled off in their home system, written off as a predatory mistake. A species from a deathworld. A culture that solved problems with violence. A nightmare dressed in bipedal flesh. "They're our only option," Tavi said, voice thready. "We're out of others." Serac's mandibles clicked softly. It wasn't bravery to consider it. It was arithmetic. They were already dying. "Send it," he said. Aurum hesitated, then composed the message. "Ship in distress. Life support failing. Require immediate rescue." Coordinates attached. Nothing about who they were. Nothing about what they carried. The message left like a flare into black water. Then there was nothing to do but wait while the air grew thin and the lights dimmed, and Serac tried not to think about the sound of his crew collapsing one by one. Hours later, Aurum sat bolt upright. "Captain!" Response. Serac's hearts clenched. "From the Concordat." Aurum shook his soft head. No. From Sol Serak's limbs froze. How long until they arrive? 4 hours. That's impossible. No vessel can. I checked, Oram said, awe in his voice. They decelerated from impossible. And survived. The scanner drew a symbol for the approaching ship, but only because the scanner lacked the vocabulary to draw disbelief. A voice arrived across the void, calm, courteous, dangerous. This is the Grey Aegis. Requesting permission to dock. Serak laughed once, bitter and relieved. Permission granted. The docking clamps kissed harder than they should, yet with precision. Too professional for a species the Concordate had dismissed as feral. The airlock cycled. Heavy boots sounded down the corridor. They came through the door like inevitability, tall, armored, predatory. Their leader removed her helmet with the casualness of someone who did not need armor to be dangerous. "Lieutenant Colonel Dana Cade," she said. "We're here to help." Serak tried to stand straight. His crew slumped behind him, breaths shallow, mandibles slack. "My crew, already treated," Cade said. "Dr. Mira Solis is very good at keeping people alive." The human medic moved with a quiet efficiency that made Serak uneasy. She knelt beside Tavi, pressed a device to the lumen's chest, and administered an injection. Within seconds, Tavi's dull bioluminescence brightened. Her breathing steadied. Her color returned. "This is impossible," Serak said hoarsely. "Not impossible," Mira said, without looking up. "We've learned to improvise." Alien biology is just another puzzle. Behind her, more humans spread through the ship. They cut metal, patched conduits, restarted systems. Sparks flew, the lights steadied. Somewhere, a generator hummed back to life. "Why?" Serak asked. "Why help us?" Cade's expression didn't change. "Because you asked." It was said so simply, Serak found it more terrifying than any threat could have been. Her earpiece clicked. "Colonel," a voice reported, "our scans confirm unusual energy signatures in the cargo bay." Cade's eyes shifted back to Serak. "Now we talk about your crate." The human shipmaster arrived an hour later. Captain Elias Ward had the posture of someone who carried fatigue like a uniform. His eyes catalogued everything, recording details as if memory itself were a weapon. "Walk with me," he said. They moved through corridors that no longer flickered. Human engineers had attached strange devices to the walls. Systems that should have taken days to repair were humming again. "You've studied us," Serak said softly. "For 50 years, Ward replied. "You quarantined us. But walls don't block ears." In the cargo bay, Chief Owen Pike was prying open panels. Serak hadn't known existed. The crate sat at the center, warning glyphs glowing faintly. "Can you open it?" Ward asked. "Depends," Pike said. "If it wants to stay closed, 5 minutes. If not, 2. Assume it wants to stay closed. Then 3. The locks surrendered like old soldiers. Inside, a device no larger than a table, pulsing blue light across its surface. Symbols crawled in patterns meant to intimidate. Dr. Sarah Whitfield entered with a tablet already awake. She circled the device once, twice, then snorted softly. "Elegant theory," she said. "Primitive build." Serak bristled. "It destroys star systems." "Once," Whitfield corrected, "and then it destroys you. Your alloys shear under stress. Your targeting ignores quantum fluctuation. Your cooling is wishful thinking." "Can it be fixed?" Ward asked. "Easily," she said, as if discussing a broken toy. "Replace the conduits with quantum-stable composites, add compensation algorithms, real cooling. portable, reusable. Her casualness chilled Serac more than the array ever had. Cade's voice interrupted. "Captain, Concordat Task Force inbound. 3 cruisers, a battleship. 6 hours. They sent us!" Serac protested. "Why would they?" "Because someone prefers no witnesses," Ward said mildly. "Let's not be here when that story is written." Whitfield had already started disassembling the weapon. Each part went into a labeled case. Each flaw was recorded. "You're stealing it," Serac whispered. "We're documenting debris," Ward replied. "Context is everything." Pike grinned. "Context is theft with paperwork." The Orion Concordat fleet arrived in perfect geometry, like an accusation in formation. "This is Admiral Threx Ilshav," the broadcast boomed. "Human vessel, you are interfering with Concordat operations. Withdraw immediately." Ward sipped coffee. "Admiral, we answered a distress call. We've stabilized the crew and repaired their ship. We'll transfer them shortly." "You will allow us to board?" "No," Ward said simply. "Sovereign vessel." "Final warning," Ilshav snapped. Ward muted the channel. "Invite him aboard," he told Cade. "Full diplomatic honors." Serac stared. "You'll let him on your ship?" "People are reasonable with coffee," Ward said. Admiral Ilshav entered the conference room with 2 guards and 6 arms full of authority. His uniform gleamed with medals. He declined the coffee. "Return the weapon," he demanded. Ward spread his hands. "We found debris." "Nothing more." "You lie." Ward tapped a puck. Holograms unfolded. The flagship's engine schematics. The cruiser, quiet embers, shield failure modes. The destroyer, fell arrows, munitions defects. "How?" Ilshav whispered. "We've been listening for 47 years, Whitfield said without looking up. "It accumulates." Orders appeared in holographic text. "Eliminate research vessel. Attribute to piracy. Signed, Marshal Dreven Corps." The guards moved. Cade moved half a pace. The guards stopped moving. "You were sent to erase a problem," Ward said. "Now you face a larger one." "What do you want?" Ilshav asked, his voice strained. "Peace," Ward said. "Leave Sol alone. Keep the fence. Stop testing it." "And if the Concordat refuses?" Ward tapped again. Sol bloomed in holographic projection. Rings of fortresses, fleets larger than anything the Concordat had built, defensive networks woven like a trap. "You could have conquered us," Ilshav whispered. "Conquest is poor logistics," Ward said. "Maintenance never ends." Whitfield finally looked up. "Admiral, the array you were moving is based on work we abandoned 20 years ago. Crude, unsafe. Marshal Corps tried to sell it to the Varkesh Dominion. When that failed, he chose the cleaner story. Evidence spiraled across the display. Bank accounts, covert meetings, cutouts with false names." "Why show me this?" Ilshav asked. Ward's expression didn't change. "Stable neighbors make good policy. Clean your house, Admiral, or we'll do it for you. What do you get?" "Underestimation," Ward said. Ilshav stared at the Sol projection until it stopped being a picture and became a reality he could neither fight nor forget. "I understand," he said at last. "We suspected you would," Ward said. Soon after, the Radiant Thesis departed under her own power, humming with human modifications auditors would never approve. The Concordat formation adjusted around her like nervous fish. "Will they keep the secret?" Serac asked quietly. For now, Ward said, secrets are ecosystems. You feed them the right lies. Tavi touched the console. You answered, she said. We called, and you answered. Cade gave the smallest shrug. That's the dangerous part about us. Mercy, Oram said softly. The only weapon we prefer to use, Ward said. The grey Aegis turned away, patient as a predator not yet hungry. Sol awaited. 50 years, Serac murmured. Listening, Ward corrected. And now? Ward looked at the stars like someone measuring curtains. Now we wait. For the day someone forgets why fences are good. And then we answer again. Humanity's greatest weapon has never been its technology. It's the choice to answer when others stay silent. If you enjoyed this story and want more tales of Deathworlders, quiet dangers, and the galaxy's most unpredictable species, don't forget to subscribe. There are always more stories waiting in the dark,